This is the OPS pregame report.
Welcome live to Spartan Arena for some section play here tonight in the SAC as the Homestead Spartans and Southside Archers are set to face off. Good evening, everyone. I'm Johanningsmeier, being joined alongside my color commentator Braxton and sideline reporter Anthony Gery and Braxton. Here tonight are two teams that have not played within the conference in 3 weeks, but here tonight they resume that conference play.
Yeah, Noah, during this conference break, we've got a chance to see some great holiday tournament action, but there's nothing quite like conference play, and both teams are excited to get back to it here tonight.
And now let's get into the OPS pregame show as we will discuss that holiday tournament that you just mentioned as last week, in which the Spartans came out on top with key wins over South Bend St. Joseph, Hamilton Southeastern, and Mishawaka-Marion.
Yeah, it was a tough start for the Spartans, losing to Munster 48-37, but they rallied the troops, were able to win out in the rest of pool play, get a chance to play in the title game where they beat Mishawaka-Marion 55-49 in overtime, being led by Kyron Kalpawiki with 20 points, Will Jameson with 17 points, and Grant Leeper with 16.
Yeah, the big three really stepped up big in that one, and now we're going to take a look at that big three. And in that tournament, and really all season long, Homestead has been led by the backcourt duo of Will Jameson and Kyron Kalpawiki. Looking at these two players' numbers, Kalpawiki is putting up 19.1 points per game, along with 5.9 rebounds per game, while Jameson has been putting up 17.9 points per game and 3.4 assists per game.
Yeah, these two players have been absolutely dominant for the Spartans this year. And looking at some other stats for them, Kyron Kalpawiki shooting 39 of 74 from three-point range this season for 54%. And then Will Jameson, 40 of 50 from the free throw line, and that's a high rate of 80%.
Yeah, they have been doing great shooting for this squad and really extending out to the perimeter. And then for Grant Leeper, he's been the key piece down low, averaging 10 points per game and 6.7 rebounds per game with his presence down low, along with that outside presence we just talked about of Jameson and Kalpawiki. The Spartans' offense is hard to stop.
Yeah, he's been huge for these Spartans with just under 7 rebounds per game, like you mentioned. And then from field goal range, he has been shooting 39 of 64 for 61%.
And so the season is now 6 weeks old, and we just hit the new year. And taking a look at the Spartans' first 10 games, you have to think Coach Johnson is pleased with where his team is at right now. However, tonight and tomorrow, the Spartans won't be at full strength as senior forward Grant Leeper is out on a college recruiting trip.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting how the Spartans are able to play down low as Grant Leeper, like you mentioned, he's going to be out for these 2 games, and he has been the post presence the Spartans have had all season long.
Yeah, and without Grant Leeper here this weekend, but you have to make note on Tuesday as the number 2 team in Class 2A comes into Spartan Arena. The season debut of 6'8 forward Tucker Day will take place, and Braxton, the Spartans will finally have its front court set that was talked about all offseason long.
Well, we already talked about the backcourt of Kyron Kalpawiki and Will Jameson, but now with that front court getting healthy, Grant Leeper and Tucker Day, the rest of the conference better watch out.
And as for the Archers, they have had a rough going so far this season as they sit at 1-8, 9 games into the year, but they do come into this one fresh off a win over Blackford and a holiday tourney down near Richmond.
Yeah, it's been a tough start to the year so far for the Archers. A couple close games, including that overtime loss to Leo back in November, but a great win against Blackford by 10 points at the end of 2022, and ready to start 2023 calendar year with this conference matchup against the Spartans.
Yeah, they've had a couple close losses along looking at their season opener against the Leo Lions. They lost that one in overtime, and then finally in their last outing, they were able to get that first key victory against Blackford and get that W with a 5-point win.
And this is a team that could be sneaky here tonight. Maybe the Spartans looking ahead. They have another matchup again tomorrow night against Wawasee. And we already saw with the Lady Spartans earlier, got off to a bit of a slow start. And you know Coach Johnson wants to make sure that does not happen. The same thing does not happen with his boys.
Yeah, he wants to make sure that they do not get off to that slow start against this Southside squad, and they want to jump out quickly. The Homestead Spartans currently ranked top 5 in the state in both the 4A top 10 poll and the coaches poll, really a top team in the state of Indiana, and do not want to slip up against a Southside squad that has struggled all year long. As we are now going to be sending it down to our sideline reporter, Anthony Gery, who is alongside Coach Chris Johnson. Anthony?
Thank you, Noah. And Coach, you're coming off an emotional high, winning that holiday tournament. It's your first game since then. How have you been able to corral the team and get them ready to play today?
Well, I mean, that was a big win for us, being able to win that tournament after getting beat by Munster the first time, the first game of the tournament. I thought since then we played extremely well over the last 3 games. Tonight's going to be another tough task for us. No leaper tonight. So, hopefully the other kids are ready to play and we can see what we can do.
All right, good luck. Noah?
And thank you, Anthony. And the Spartans definitely got to be ready to play here tonight without their center and Grant Leaper in this one. And now we will be taking a quick break, but we will be back with tip-off and starting lineups in this one. Welcome live to Spartan Arena as Coach Chris Johnson of the Spartans currently being recognized for his 400th career win with the Spartans, which he achieved just before Christmas break, beating Leo.
What a cool moment for Coach Johnson there, being honored for his hard work that he has put in at this school for the last 24 years and 29 years overall in the high school basketball ranks. A great milestone for him.
Yeah, it's a huge milestone for him as we are going to now take a look at the starting lineups for each of these squads as we take a look at the Archers with Jaden Morris, Zamari Phillips, Amarion Washington, Keegan Combs, and Javante Bragg to round out the starting 5. 3 seniors and 2 juniors in that lineup, along with a 6'5" Keegan Combs.
Yeah, Southside, a team that has a lot of experience on their team. 3 seniors, 2 juniors starting. It'll be important to note Javante Bragg standing at only 5'8". Interesting to see how the Spartans can attack him.
And then when you look at the Spartans starting 5, it is going to be Will Jamison, Kyron Kalpawiki, John Parent, Jake Schermershine, and Alex Graber. John Parent going to be the one coming in for Grant Leaper.
Yeah, 4 of the usual starting 5 in for the Spartans. Obviously, Grant Leaper being the one that's out. But similar to Southside, this is a team that is built on experience with a lot of seniors and juniors.
Yeah, both of these teams really do rely on their experience. And taking a deeper look into that starting lineup for the Southside Archers, they do have 2 double-digit scores per game with Zamari Phillips and Amarion Washington, both averaging over 13 points per game.
And both those players are going to be huge for the Archers in this matchup. A team that could certainly surprise the Spartans here tonight. That's only going to happen if those 2 players can get hot.
Yeah, they definitely need to get hot in this one to try and contend with the Homestead Spartans. And really the 2 guys that we've talked about a lot already for Homestead that are going to lead the charge most likely in this one, Will Jamison and Kyron Kalpawiki, who all year have been putting up those numbers.
Yeah, when Jamison and Kalpawiki are hot, the whole Spartans team is hot. We've also seen when Jamison and Kalpawiki struggle, the rest of the team seems to struggle as well. That was evident in the loss to Munster. So if those 2 can get going early, don't be surprised to see the Spartans gain a big lead.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see without Grant Leaper here, who else outside of those two players we just talked about will step up big for the Homestead Spartans in this one. We saw in a game without Grant Leaper earlier this season against New Haven, Alex Graber stepped up, had a huge first quarter, and really helped the Spartans get away from the Bulldogs in that one. It'll be interesting to see who can be that guy to step up in this one for Homestead. As we now see Washington and Parent ready to tip it off here. Tips won and controlled by the Southside Archers.
Obviously a roll there on the tip that we usually see Grant Leaper in, and the Archers are able to win the tip with a Leaper absent.
As the Archers trying to get the low post feed to Combs, and then he's double teams and what we called for the travel. Nice defense there from the Spartans. And with a little bit of an undersized lineup out there tonight, we might see a lot of that double team action down low.
Definitely something the Spartans are going to be looking to use in this game. Like you said, they're not going to have that big physical presence that they usually do, so they're going to have to play a little bit different than usual on the defensive end.
The Archers coming out with a 3-2 defensive look zone here, trying to make it difficult for the Spartans early on. The Spartans trying to attack this one, draw a foul there. Definitely not what the Archers want to do in this one, fouling so far away from the basket. But they do want to play that aggressive defense, as that foul was called on Javante Bragg.
Yeah, the Archers are a team sit at 1-8 on the season, but they never stop being aggressive. And that's what we see a lot of times with these teams that may not have the best records. They're still the teams that leave their heart and soul on the floor, trying to grind for every win they can get.
And they're just playing swarmy defense right now. No Spartan has been able to find spaces. Kalpawiki finally finds a little bit of breathing room and gets a floater to go.
Nice shot there by Kyron Kalpawiki, but he had to work for it. The Archers defense holding strong there.
Now the Archers looking for an answer. It's Phillips out there on the Sparty logo. They're going to need to stay in contention all throughout this one as Morris attacks the basket, follows with a tip, and finishes it. Jaden Morris, really just a great athlete all around, also a great football player, as he was second team All-SAC this past football season, getting a bucket there.
He's been a good role player for the Archers this year, averaging 6 points per game and 3.8 rebounds per game.
And then down low, it's Washington attacking for the Archers, and he's fouled. Parent called for the foul. And the Southside Archers, they've really been a team that's struggled from the charity stripe all season long, shooting 56%. They're going to have to do better than that here tonight if they want to compete against the Spartans.
And you see right there, as you mentioned, that need to shoot better from the charity stripe, not getting that free throw to go.
And Washington himself just a 52% shooter at the line, as he does get the second one to drop in.
Yeah, Washington not a great free throw shooter, but like we talked about earlier in the pregame show, a big player for this team, averaging 13 points per game.
So now Kalpawiki trying to set something up here for the Homestead Spartans, as they have really just all year long been a great team outside the perimeter, as Kalpawiki pulls the trigger on a three ball and knocks it down.
Kyron Kalpawiki absolutely deadly from behind the three-point arc, shooting 53% from three-point range.
To be that efficient from that far out is just something insane to see, and it really makes Kalpawiki and this overall Homestead Spartans squad hard to defend.
Yeah, especially on most nights when you have Grant Leaper down low, you have Will Jameson, who's able to hit pretty much every jumper he takes. This team can really kill you at every level of offense.
As Jameson now has it out there at the top of the key. The Spartans holding on to this 4-point lead here. as Graber just throws that one away. Washington with the steal. Out in transition, puts it up, and it's no good. Archer's putting it back up. Can't get it to go. Graber has it. The Spartans really controlling the glass so far in this one.
We've seen them do that all season long. They're a team that relies on those second chance points, especially when they're not getting the mid-range to go.
And then there's some mid-range for the Spartans. Will Jamison with the fader.
Well, we just mentioned it. He's almost automatic from the mid-range. And, of course, right after we said that, he gets it to fall. He is a 53% field goal shooter on the year.
And then Phillips just a little long on that one, trying to answer the Jamison mid-range jump shot. And if the Archers want to get it going tonight, he's got to get it going. So that ball's tipped out of bounds after a missed three-point opportunity from Kyron Kalpawiki. The Spartans really have played some suffocating defense so far in this one, as we're almost to 4.5 minutes into this game and just 3 points allowed.
Yeah, this is a team that can absolutely lock down on defense when they need to, as you see the jump ball called there. But yeah, this is a team that can be really good on the defensive end, and then, of course, they're very streaky shooters on the offensive end.
Yeah, this Homestead Spartans squad has really just been playing great so far in this. We just talked about the defensive effort, being able to lock down the Southside Archers. And then offensively, we saw Kyron Kalpawiki knock down that triple. Jamison with a mid-range jump shot that was pretty tough. It's not like the Southside Archers have really been even allowing wide open looks. The Homestead Spartans are just knocking down contested jump shots.
Yeah, and credit to the Archers for that. They've done a good job of limiting the Spartans' looks, not really giving them any good looks. But like you said, this Homestead team is just so good at making contested shots, and it makes them so incredibly difficult to defend.
So now here, a 9-3 Spartan lead after a timeout called by Spartans head coach Chris Johnson. Now Parent trying to make something for his Spartan squad, out to Kalpawiki. Kalpawiki with a nice drive and a nice pass outside, but cannot fall. As that will be a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Sparty, so they will retain possession as they have this 6-point lead here. Kalpawiki takes the inbound. And quickly, you see the defender close out on him on the perimeter. And that's what makes him so hard to defend. You got to close out fast so he can just blow right by you when you come out closing out like that.
Yeah, Kalpawiki is so explosive when he has the ball in his hands. He's able to send defenders flying all around him. And that's what makes him so hard to stop.
And Kalpawiki is someone who shoots 53% from three. No surprise, he's also a good free throw shooter, 82% on the season from the line as he knocked down that first one there. Second one falls as well, so now the Spartans lead up to 8. And Kalpawiki now up to 7 on the night as a 3 in the corner from Phillips goes long. Archers get another second chance opportunity here, though, as Morris attacks and finishes strong right at the rim.
We've seen Morris try that move a couple times already, able to get it to work there to cut the Spartan lead down to 6.
Now the Archers once again playing some aggressive defense as Graber just slipped that one out right to Kalpawiki. Now the Spartans going to slow it down a little bit. The Archers really have played some great defense so far in this one, trying to continue that, and they really need to maybe start forcing some turnovers here and get some defense to offense, because their offense in the half court has really been struggling.
Yeah, and really, that's their only flaw with the zone they're running right now. They're playing lockdown defense, but they just can't seem to force any turnovers. And when the Spartans are shooting this well, you're going to need some turnovers to go your way.
And another issue they have been having is when you're in a zone, it's harder to rebound, and second chance opportunities like that right there come more often for the Spartans. As Jamison comes in, but then he's swatted away. And then right away, the Spartans get it back. Gallagher finds himself wide open, gonna drive inside, and then he's blocked. The Archers playing some tough defense as Washington goes all the way in, and he's fouled. We'll go to the line for 2, trailing by 6 with 1:46 left in this first quarter.
We get another look at that block there, and then the steal, or excuse me, no, the drive to the hoop, shot being put up by Omarion Washington, getting to the free throw line, a 52% free throw shooter.
And the first one, no good. Washington now 1 for 3 from the line so far in this ball game. 52% on the season, trying to get back up to 50% on the night here with this second one. As it falls. Now a 5-point ball game.
Spartans offense has slowed down a little bit here. Been a couple minutes since we saw them get a good-looking field goal attempt.
The Spartans really have been pestered by that Southside Archers defense, and you have to give so much credit as the Archers out there are giving their will, moving quickly around the court and making it difficult for the Spartans to get anything going.
I mean, yeah, this Spartans offense has been so good all season long, and we're 7 minutes into the game, and they only have 11 points. Again, all credit has to go to this Archers D.
And then a deep 3 from Kawiki, just in and out there. As Washington trying to attack once again, this time a little out of control and loses it. Stripped away, Spartans in transition, and then it's out of bounds off of Jamison. Each of these teams just looking like they needed to slow down a little bit there.
Yeah, Jameson wanted a foul call there, not going to get it. But yeah, the Archers, that's a couple times we've seen them have a fast break opportunity, and they've lost control of the ball. Both teams need to slow down a little bit, like you said, but especially the Archers. Whenever they have opportunities like this, you do not want to waste them.
Yeah, now under a minute left in this first quarter, the Archers trying to make it a one-possession game here. As a pass down low to OK, he finishes off the glass. Now a 3-point ball game. Spartans trying to get their lead back up as they're up 3 here. 20 seconds left in the first.
Spartans look content to just hold for the final shot of this quarter, currently with the 3-point lead.
Now 7 seconds, they're going to start going. Jamison on the attack, driving inside. Trying to fade away and hoist up a shot, no good. Looked like Jamison was just trying to draw the foul there, but could not get it, as we will now send it to break after 1 quarter of action. Homestead leads 11-8 over Southside. Welcome back to Spartan Arena here as the Homestead Spartans are up 11-8 after 1. Homestead with a great performance, as we are now going to send it down to sideline reporter Anthony Gery.
Thank you, Noah, and it's a tight one to start. And let me remind you, last year, Homestead versus Southside was an entertaining matchup to see. The first game in the regular season was only a 5-point game, but it was knotted up the entire game. And then let's not forget sectional. Southside just 1 inch away from making a full court buzzer beater, which would have sent them to the regional instead of Homestead. These two teams have gone back and forth a number of times over the last few years, and expect to see the same tonight.
Yeah, it has been a close one in this matchup as the Archers and Spartans really have just played closely contested ball games frequently, as we see a three-pointer from Phillips go short there to start off this second quarter. A nice open look there, though, to start off this quarter for a 42% three-point shooter.
Yeah, and going back to Anthony's report there for a moment, we have seen some great matchups in this series history, and right now it's like we could have another one on our hands with just a three-point game after a quarter of play.
Yeah, and a lot of games between these two programs have been close over recent years, but overall, the Homestead Spartans have been able to come out on top of most of them, as Homestead right now in this matchup has a 20-game winning streak, with the last win for the Southside Archers coming on December 8th, 2009.
The Spartans have just been so good, not only against Southside, but against other teams as well. Just being able to pull out those close games where maybe they don't play their best, or maybe they did play a good game, the other team just gave them a run for their money, and the Spartans have been so good at closing out games down the stretch.
Graber in the corner, going to pull the trigger on a three ball. That one's long. Graber might have rushed that one there as he found himself a little too open, maybe.
Yeah, not a great three-point shooter is Alex Graber, only shooting 14% from three-point range on the season.
Yeah, he struggled from beyond the arc and still looking for his shot this season. As the Archers still just trailing by 3, their great defensive effort has really allowed them to stay within reach in this one so far. But you got to expect the Spartans are going to turn it up offensively at some point, so the Archers are going to have to as well.
Yeah, the Archers have to get as many points as possible while they're holding this close deficit. Because as we know, Noah, this Archers team can get, the Spartans team can get hot at any moment.
Yeah, we've seen it a lot. When you have guys like Kyron Kalpawiki and Will Jamison who can create shots for themselves and others and knock down those big shots, it can really get it going fast for the Spartans. As Washington forces another turnover for the Archers, Phillips tried to jam it in, but he couldn't. And then the follow from Oki.
Bit of an unintentional assist there from Phillips as his shot got sent flying backwards to his teammate, who's able to put the shot away.
And then there's Will Jamison creating his own shot, flying to the rim for 2. The Archers were able to get some defense to offense for their first 2 points of this quarter. Let's see what they can do in the half court this time as Washington with a mid-range jump shot falls in.
Nice little step back there from Washington, able to create the separation to get that shot off.
And then Nysonger turns it over. Washington again in transition and a slam. Amarion Washington and the Archers are on a roll now. Up by 1 here.
Tell you what, Noah, that dunk was not missed for the Archers as the Spartans now turn the ball over again.
And the Spartans seeming like they need a timeout here. And Coach Johnson will call one. The Southside Archers up 16-13 after forcing turnover after turnover after turnover.
And another look at that slam by Omarion Washington, absolutely throwing it down. And even with the Spartan-friendly crowd, it got really loud in here when that dunk went down.
Yeah, the Archers really got it going here in the last couple of moments as we now see Jaden Morris and Amarion Washington up to 6 points in this game, and then Marcus Oki, the other one to score, as he has 4 for the Archers.
Yeah, those 3 have been really big for the Archers all season long. And then again, so far in this game. And now holding the 3-point lead over the Spartans 11 minutes into this game. Maybe a little bit surprising.
And now we're going to send it to our sideline reporter, Anthony Gery.
Thank you, Noah. And it seems like every single team has been running a zone against Homestead since they lost in the Munster game. Some teams have done it right, others not as well. But so far, Southside certainly doing an amazing job, especially with this box-and-one press.
Yeah, this press has really caused a whole lot of issues for the Spartans, as I'm sure Coach Johnson just drew up a press breaker in that last timeout he called.
I mean, look at this movement for the Archers defense. They seem to be everywhere the Spartans are. If the Archer squad, I think, wanted to travel there on Kyron Kalpawiki.
And right now, Kalpawiki just swarmed by Archer's defenders, and that's been the story all game long. Whenever somebody's catching that ball low in that perimeter, out on the wings, they're getting double teamed, they're getting swarmed, and the Archers making it difficult for the Spartans, as the Spartans here, almost halfway through the second quarter, only have 13 points.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy coming from that Archers bench right now, having the lead on the number 5 ranked team in the state. Certainly a great start for them.
As Gallagher will be bumped down low, that's going to be a foul called on the Archers here. That one's going to be on Marcus Oki. That is going to be his second personal and the third foul on the Archers.
A little bit of foul trouble there is Marcus Oki. 4 points currently in the game. As you mentioned, 2 fouls. He's going to have to be careful when he comes back in.
As Parent goes up strong and gets it to drop plus the foul. Without Grant Leeper in this one, the Spartans need some low post presence, and right there, it's John Parent doing it.
Yeah, John Parent hasn't been a huge factor for the Spartans in the scoring department this season, only averaging 2.3 points per game, but he has been a big factor for them when they need him to step up.
And Parent right there knocks down the free throw and ties up the ball game. Archers trying to take back the lead here. Just taking their time, trying to get the right shot here. As Morris, guarded by Jamison, trying to attack inside. Kicks it out to Powell. He puts up a shot and he's fouled and will go to the line for 2. With a tie ball game, the Archers going to the line for 2.
Archers right now just out physicaling the Spartans. Usually something that's the Spartans' specialty, being a physical team, fighting for the ball. Right now, the Archers are giving them all they can handle.
And the Archers get back the lead here with that made free throw. And really, right now, this is looking like a game where you just throw out the records. You have the 1-8 Archers versus the 9-1 Homestead Spartans. But right now, we have the Archers up 2 with 3:30 left in the second quarter.
Yeah, it's a conference matchup, a rivalry matchup as well. And as you know, in these games, don't even worry about the records on these teams' resume, as anything can happen.
And now Washington out to Powell. He puts it up and in off the glass.
And right now, all the momentum seems to be on that Archer sideline right now. The Spartans really struggling to get things going, even with that timeout by Coach Johnson a little while ago.
Kalpawiki found a good look in the mid-range, just couldn't get it to drop. Archers now with a chance to extend their lead even further. Washington, the mid-range pull-up short, but a follow from Combs, and he can't get it to go. Now Jamison on the attack. Kalpawiki trying to find a shot. Creates one for Shermershine over there. No good, but Gallagher, an offensive rebound, and then it's stripped away. Archers out in transition. Out to Morris. Now a Bragg three-pointer won't go. Rebound brought in by the Spartans. Then a foul is called on the Archers. That's going to be their 5th team foul, so still 2 away from sending the Spartans to the line with the bonus.
And another look at that fast break opportunity for Charles Powell, able to drive down the court and put in that nice layup to give the Archers a 4-point lead.
And Charles Powell just came off the bench and really brought some more energy for the Archers. They looked a little slow offensively for a couple possessions, but then he brought back the energy, knocking down 2 free throws and then getting that layup in transition that now has this 4-point Archers lead. As the Spartans just trying to get past the swarming Archers defense, trying to find any open look here. Now under 2 minutes left in this first half. The Spartans, a team that averaged just shy of 60 points a ball game here, 16 with under 2 minutes left in the first half. As Jamison, a deep 3 won't go, but an offensive rebound, and we'll have a second chance opportunity here. Now Kapowicki attacking inside. Won't go. Now Graber with the follow. And the Spartans controlling the offensive glass on this possession, but they cannot get any shots to fall.
Spartans just trying to get their offensive rebound stats up right now. Like you said, they've got to get a shot to fall eventually.
Now Jamison, a 3-pointer splash. A big shot for the Spartans offense as they couldn't get anything to fall there. Now the Archers looking for an answer. Bragg. Over to Phillips. Tips it out, and it's out of bounds off of Phillips. Turnover there for the Archers.
As we get to take another look at that Will Jamison 3, doing a great job of getting himself open around the arc and getting the pass from John Parent to get that 3-pointer to go.
Now with 30 seconds left, the Spartans maybe just looking for the last shot of the half here. Down by 1.
And if I was Coach Johnson, I'd be doing the exact same thing. Down by a point in a game that they were probably expecting to be winning. Try to get the lead heading into halftime and get some momentum going for your squad.
As Kapowicki is trying to do just that here. Out to Sermershine. Now Jamison on the attack. Under 3 seconds left in the corner. Pressure just hoists it up in the corner, and that one's long. No good. At the half, it's going to be an Archers 20-19 lead. What a first half performance from this Archers squad. As we are now going to be sending it down to sideline reporter Anthony Gery, who's alongside Coach Johnson.
Thank you, Noah. And Coach, every team seems to have been running a zone against you every single time, and Southside's doing a really good job. What adjustments do you need to make in halftime?
Well, we need to make some adjustments because we're doing everything on the outside. We got to get an inside touch. You know, it hurts not having Leaper, but, you know, we got to get it figured out.
Noah, back to you.
And thank you, Anthony. And now we will send it to break, but we will be back with the OPS halftime report.
Touchdown, Homestead! Dribbles it, mid-range jumper up. He got it! Zach Kruger hit the shot.
Marco's Pizza. located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marcos specializes in pizza, subs, and more. Order online at marcos.com or by phone at 625-6800. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
This is the OPS Halftime Report.
Welcome live on the OPS Halftime Report. I'm Anthony Gery, joined alongside analyst Noah Land. Now we're going to talk about the first half of play and what a surprise it's been. Southside came out playing aggressive, and it is working right now.
Yeah, that's really been the difference in this one. They've been so much more aggressive than the Spartans, getting turnovers, turning those into points in transition. That's where we've seen the main difference, and their defense has been really good pressing and trapping.
And now we're going to take a look at our first half stats from the first half of play, which have been very much actually in favor of the South Side, shooting 44% from the field. Still no threes made for the South Side, but they haven't really needed to make any.
No, they have not needed to make any of those at all. Even though Spartans have knocked down 2 threes and three free throws, they still haven't made as many free throws in this one. The Spartans have 1 less field goal made overall. Turnovers pretty even. Spartans have 2 more. And then rebounds. Southside is out rebounding the Spartans by 3, but those 2 margins there aren't that big of a difference. It's mainly field goal percentage in this one.
Overall, things have canceled out among the stats sheet, but it has pretty much been an even slate. Southside only leading by 1 point. So now we're also going to take a look at our SAC standings and see how this could shape up the SAC, as right now Homestead is tied atop the SAC at 2-0.
Yeah, it's not a shocker to see Homestead there at 2-0. It's where they've been in the past few years. But Wayne up there at 2-0 is really shocker. Concordia, we expected them to be good this year, and they've done well so far as well as Northside, who's 2-0. 4 teams tied at the top of the SAC right now.
And now with all the games going on, there's a lot of games going on around the SAC, as we're going to take a look at our scores around the SAC, how things could be shaping up tonight. There's a lot of hectic stuff going on in the SAC. As our girls' scores from earlier, we saw Northrop take care of Snyder, which is a very big game. On the boys' end, Carroll versus Bishop Dwenger, 2 teams that have had unfortunate starts to the season, you could say, both starting 0-2 in the SAC.
Yeah, they've had close games, both of them in their SAC games. The Spartans were able to beat Dwenger by 2 earlier here at this arena, but both those teams have had close ones this year. We'll see if they can turn it around.
And we're going to take a short 30-second break. When we come back, we'll have more of the OPS Halftime Show.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back.
This is the OPS Halftime Report.
back to the OPS Halftime Show. I'm Anthony Gery, joined alongside Noah Lance, and now we're going to take a look at some news from around the SAC, starting with now in 2023, when we get to football season, there is going to be an entirely new look in the SAC. It's been completely split in half, 5 big school teams and now 5 small school teams.
Yeah, it's really going to make a big difference, give the teams better chances to beat the teams that are around the same level as them in size of school. Different teams will see different opponents. We'll still have plenty of SAC games, but also teams will have 2 non-conference games that they can schedule in the first 2 weeks. The Spartans got Carmel and Noblesville. They'll have those for 2 years, play home and away, and then they'll switch it up after that.
And those non-conference games are going to be so important to growing the SAC. We saw Carroll make the state championship this year. They weren't able to put up that good of a fight against Center Grove. The goal is have these games, these out-of-conference games, improve the SAC against those indie schools, those area schools, and lead to more sectional, regional, and state championships in the future.
Yeah, that's 100% the idea of this new look for the SAC. And now with more teams from Indy area playing in sectionals for the SAC teams, it's going to make it that much harder for them. So definitely need more and more experience against these tougher teams, and that's what they're going to be able to do.
And kind of what the difference between big school and small school is. Big school or Homestead will play the 4 other large school teams and play 3 small school teams. Then the team like Southside would play the other 4 small school teams and 3 big school teams. Those would change from year to year. It's going to be very exciting watching this unfold.
It will be, and don't worry out there, we'll still have rivalry week in week 7, so teams will still play their rivals no matter what. And also, there's only going to be 1 champion, even though there are 2 divisions here, so just 1 champion, 1 belt.
And our second piece of news in the SAC is right before this game, our play-by-play broadcaster Noah Johanningsmeier may have mentioned it, but Coach Chris Johnson was celebrated for his 400th career win. He earned that December 20th versus Leo, a very great game that went down to the wire. He had to earn it, but now seeing him at 400, one of the all-time great coaches, is just so special.
Yeah, he's been so good throughout his tenure here at Homestead, and even before coming to Homestead, he was solid, but he's really built a program here. Before he came to Homestead, they had struggled, but he turned it around, and now Homestead is a powerhouse in the Fort Wayne area and even in Indiana.
Yeah, they are the team to beat. They're one of the best programs over the last 10 years. It's been really special to see what Coach Johnson has been able to do. 8 sectional championships in the last 11 years. He's just really been an amazing coach for the Spartan team.
Yeah, year in and year out, even when you think they're going to have a down year, Coach Johnson gets his team in shape. You lose a Big Ten player each of the last 2 years. You think your team's going to have some trouble. This year, they don't look like they're struggling at all. Players step up, and you got to think that's because of Coach Johnson.
And that's all because of Coach Johnson. And we mentioned earlier, but the SAC is something interesting this year. On the boys' side, 4 teams undefeated in the conference. Wayne, Northside, Concordia, and Homestead. Homestead threatened to lose their first game here, but honestly, anything can happen in the SAC, and it's just exciting to see.
Yeah, things are kind of flipped on their head right now. We got some teams that are sitting at 0-2, some at 2-0, so a lot of different things that could happen. There's still a lot of basketball to be played, though. Only 2 games into the SAC, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see how it turns out.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be exciting. We'll see how the SAC unfolds, and we'll have it here on Homestead Media every single home game. Get your calendars booked, though, because Homestead versus Concordia, that could be a huge one right at the end of the season.
Yeah, that one could be the decider for who wins the SAC. Concordia is looking a lot better this year. Johnny Washington, Cole Hayward, some good players there. But obviously, Spartans are going to try to get theirs done with Tucker Day coming back very soon. You got to think the Spartans like their odds in that one.
Concordia and, of course, Homestead, the 2 favorites to win the SAC. But Southside, in this second half, look to play spoiler. Right now, Southside Archers 20, Homestead Spartans 19. We'll be back with the second half of play.
Get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna
chew up when you go home. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh, baby, that looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
Welcome back live to Spartan Arena here as the Southside Archers lead over the Homestead Spartans at the break 20-19. And what a first half performance it was from the Archers all around, and really defensively they stepped up big, shutting down this Homestead Spartans offense.
Yeah, this Homestead squad, a team that averages just under 60 points per game, on pace for only 38 right now. Southside did a great job locking them down. That zone defense worked really well for them. We saw them pressing a little bit too, forcing some big Spartan turnovers that led to fast break opportunities for the Archers.
And now to start off this second half, it will be Spartans' ball as they will look to take back the lead. Here trailing by 1. Finally get the inbound, and then it's stolen away by Bragg. Right away, it's another turnover for the Spartans as the Archers' defense made it difficult once again. As Morris gives it over to Bragg, a 3-ball long. But Morris with an offensive rebound, a putback and the foul. And 1 for Jaden Morris here.
Great job by Jaden Morris there, staying with that play, able to get the rebound with one hand and then put the shot up while being dragged down for a foul.
And the foul was on Will Jamison, his second of the night. That's something to watch, as if he gets that 3rd or 4th foul, that could certainly be a key factor late in this ballgame. As Parent double team trapped, forced to call a timeout. 30 seconds in to this second half. That might be the worst ideal start for Coach Chris Johnson of the Spartans, and the best possible start for the Archers here with almost 2 turnovers, just the 1 turnover and then a trap there for Parent, and then the and 1 offensively for the Archers.
Yeah, the perfect start for the Archers, but then for Coach Johnson and the Spartans, definitely not what you want to see coming out of the halftime locker room. You just had 10 minutes to scheme over what you should do to start off the second half, and that's definitely not the way they were planning to start it.
Yeah, they definitely did not want to start the second half like that. And now, after this timeout, they're going to have to go back out there and try to inbound the ball, which seemingly seems to be a very difficult thing, as right away to start off the half, they were forced to throw it in as they neared a 5-second violation and turned it over.
Yeah, the Spartans haven't even had a chance to run their offense yet in the second half. Obviously early, not even 30 seconds into the third quarter yet, but still, they've got to get the ball inbounded before they can do anything on the offensive end.
Yeah, they have to get this into the half-court offense, as it has been even difficult all game long for them to just get across the timeline. As we're going to see the Spartans inbound right next to where they did to start off the half. Summershine, the inbounder once again. Now trailing by 4 here. Just going to send this one in right into Parent. The Spartans now with a chance to set up some half-court offense, trying to find a good look here. As Jamison gives it over to Summershine. Now in the corner, Parent. Trailing by 4, looking for a good shot opportunity here are the Spartans.
Spartans really taking their time on this possession, looking for a great shot opportunity, but they can't seem to find anything.
And they just keep on passing this ball around the perimeter as they cannot get anything inside. As Jamison attacks out to Summershine, and then his 3-point is tipped by Oki. But Graber able to get the offensive rebound, put it up, no good, as Oki holds in the rebound.
Alex Graber there almost got the shot to fall, but couldn't quite get it in the end. The Spartans are really struggling offensively right now.
And then just a slip up there from Phillips causes a Archers turnover.
And if you're the Spartans right now, I'm not sure what you do pace-wise. I mean, they're a team we've seen all season long. They're really good when they're moving the ball fast, but it really hasn't seemed to be working so far in this game. So do we see them start to slow things down? I really don't know.
As now Jamison, that ball almost got stolen away, but a late whistle going to keep possession here as the foul was called on Javante Bragg of the Archers. His second personal of the night. As Parent takes the inbound here.
And that foul is big for the Archers. We've seen Bragg get a couple shot opportunities. Hasn't made any yet, but he has been paramount in setting up passes to score.
And how about Oki with another block defensively for the Archers? He's come up big as a down-low presence as Bragg takes a deep ball and banks it in from downtown.
Right as we say he hasn't scored yet in this game, he shuts us up with that deep three-pointer to improve his team's lead to 7 points.
And then right away, he's going to be called for another personal. That's going to be his third. Not what he wants to get right after knocking down a big triple.
And there you see another look at that big triple. Deep three-point range, hoisting it up and getting it to fall. Meanwhile, the Spartans can't get an open three. Heck, they can't even get an open jumper right now.
As Kapowicki finally finds some open space, Oki with a just absolute rejection once again. Anything near the rim, Marcus Oki says, oh no.
Marcus Oki does not want this Spartans team to score at all. He is sending the ball back left and right.
And that time a little too aggressive, trying to get that one, and that's going to be a foul on Oki. As that will actually now be his third personal, and that's a big one. As defensively, he has been a key piece all throughout this ball game, just not allowing the Spartans to get anything going down low.
And the Archers now with that 6-point lead. They do have a couple of players in Oki and Bragg that are now in foul trouble for them. And it's going to be interesting to see how they manage this heading as we head deeper into the second half.
Kapowicki able to get both of his free throws that drop, and the lead cuts down to 5.
Kapowicki now up to 9 points on the night.
Washington attacks. Kapowicki almost got the swat, but a little bit of contact on the arm causes a foul, and that will send Washington to the line for 2. And the foul's actually called on Alex Graber there.
As we take a look at our real-time stats right there, and a bit of a surprise, the Spartans have been so good at rebounding this season, but right now they actually trail in the rebounding department 15-11, and they're going to need to flip that in their favor if they're going to get back into this game.
As Washington not able to hit either free throw there. Right now, holding on to a 5-point lead, the Archers certainly one of those. Now pressuring defensively once again. Jamison able to get it inside and then kicks it out. Kapowicki pulling up in the mid-range, and he's just short on that one. Now Morris with a great feed over to Powell, but then they're going to call that an offensive foul.
Great job there by the Spartans, able to take the charge and ruin the Southside fast break scoring opportunity.
Now Shermershine pulling a triple splash from Jake Shermershine. Knocks down the triple as he's a 29% shooter on the season for the squad. Coming up with a big one there, cutting the lead down to just 2 now.
And we've seen him attempt a couple three-pointers already in this game, but finally he's able to get one to fall, and maybe this will start getting the Spartans offense moving.
As a foul will now be called on the pass down low there. John Parent swatted at the arm. of Combs, so Parent picks up another personal, his second.
And there you just got another look at that three-pointer by Jake Sermersheim, able to nail it, nothing but net.
And then right there, that almost looked like a pass to set up Will Jamison for an easy layup in transition. Just miscommunication on the inbound, and that will lead to a timeout from Coach J.J. Foster of the Southside Archers. A tie ball game here now as the Spartans fell down by 7, but they have gone on a run since and have tied it up.
Yeah, basketball, we've said this before, it's a game of momentum, and that's been the case of this game as well. These teams going back and forth on streaks, being able to force turnovers, get some fast break opportunities, like we just saw Will Jamison able to do there for the Spartans. And now, with 12 minutes remaining, we have a tie ball game on our hands.
Yeah, we're down for a fun 12 minutes here, as we have seen an intense first half of this third quarter, as it has been a battle back and forth between these two squads. And right now, Southside, they got to get their momentum flowing back for them, as Homestead on a roll and starting to find their groove offensively.
And right now, this Spartans runs really started since Marcus Oki and Javante Bragg were forced to come out of the game, each with 3 fouls. And that's really when the Spartans have started to come back into this game and now tied up.
Yeah, their foul trouble has been a key storyline in this one so far, as Washington just loses that one, as that pass came in a little high. So now that's another Archers turnover. Spartans now with a chance to take the lead back. Spartans have not led this half. As Sermersheim over to Kapowicki, just standing on the Sparty logo.
And right now, the Spartans have got to try to get Kapowicki and Will Jamison going. Neither one of them having bad games at all, each of them with 9 points right now. But they still just have not been shooting too well in this game.
And right there, Will Jamison getting himself going, attacking the rim and finishing right at the basket. As you see Morris fly in there, and he's called for his second charge of the night.
As we get to take another look at it there, and it did look like the right call. Nice angle there from our camera guys, as it did look like a charge right there.
And then Jamison on the attack once again, and this time it's a bucket plus the foul. Jamison trying to make it a 3-point play here and a 5-point Spartan lead, as it's becoming the Jamison show here at Spartan Arena.
He is taking this game over. You see the energy there from him. He is absolutely fired up, trying to get the rest of this Spartans team fired up as well.
Jamison now up to 13 points and 14 with the made free throw. The Spartans have just absolutely dominated since falling down 26-19. They're on a 12-0 run.
And right now, if I'm Coach Foster of the Archers, I'm calling a timeout next time I get possession of the ball and trying to get Bragg and Oki back into the game, because they're the ones that got this team going to start the second half.
Yeah, they really had a lot of momentum before those two picked up those third fouls, as foul trouble has been a key story for them. As the Archers now get a steal out in transition. Washington goes up strong and finishes it off the glass. Lead back down to 3. We've seen Jamison just blow by defenders multiple times in this one. Sure, the Archers defenders ready for that attack.
Yeah, Will Jamison just does such a great job of trying to bait the defenders to get close to him. And as soon as they do that, he knows he has them right where he wants them, and he explodes right by them.
And now Jamison getting the screen from Parent. Kapowicki, a deep 3 ball long. but an offensive rebound. A huge second chance opportunity here as the Spartans try to keep their offensive momentum flowing here. Just milking the clock on this possession, looking for the best shot attempt available as Schermersheim finds one, no dice. Out of bounds off of the Spartans. Archers get it, 1:09 left in the third quarter.
Now a big possession here for the Archers. Just over a minute remaining in this third quarter, down one possession right now. And now they have a chance to cut this down to a 1-point lead or even tie the game up.
And now Oki and Bragg are back out on the court for the Archers here as they are trailing by 3. Those two have been huge for the Archers, each with 3 personal fouls though.
And the Spartans have got to attack them to try to get them to 4.
Washington trying to create something offensively here for the Archers. Now under a minute left in this third quarter. The Archers started off this third quarter strong with a 6-0 run, but since then, the Spartans have answered fiercely.
Archers just running a lot of clock on this possession as Washington finally gets it.
And that's going to be a blocking foul as Washington attacked the basket, and he'll go to the line once again. And Washington is someone who has struggled from the line all year long, and it's been the same storyline here tonight.
Yeah, not shooting too well from the free throw line, but you heard that big exhale from the Archers fans. Finally a charge not being called. Finally a blocking foul is what they're saying as they finally feel like a call is going their way.
Now with just 30 seconds left, Coach Foster takes Bragg and Oki back to the bench, not wanting them to pick up their 4th personal in the few seconds remaining here in the third quarter. As Washington cuts the lead down to 2 now with that made free throw, as he's up to 9 on the night. As Gallagher, with 20 seconds left, gives it over, and now we see Jamison with it. 13 seconds left in the quarter. Spartans have worked their way to this 2-point lead, trying to extend it here in the waning seconds. Jamison on the attack. The mid-range pull-up, no good. And that will bring us to the end of this third quarter of action as we will take a short break but be back with more Homestead Spartans versus Southside Archers basketball. Welcome back live to Spartan Arena as we're moments away from the start of the fourth quarter. We will quickly send it down to sideline reporter Anthony Gery. Anthony.
Thank you, Noah. And a little bit of a turnaround in this game compared to the past few for Homestead is one that's gone a little unseen, and that has actually been the charge call. Homestead got 2 huge charges on that last possession. The entire holiday tournament, they didn't get a single one. In fact, they were all called the other way. John Parent and Jake Summersheim, who both got the calls, can attest to this, that the calls were going the other way in the holiday tournament, but it is completely turned around in this game.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the officiating in this one as Jaden Morris has been called for 2 charges that really were big momentum swingers in this one, as that's when the Spartans started to go on their run.
Yeah, we know a charge is a foul that can change the momentum of a game in a heartbeat. One team is attacking, and the other team is able to shut them down.
So now Phillips with 7:40 swings it over there to Morris. The Archers right now trying to get it back to a tie or take the lead. That 3 ball no good. As right there Morris stepped out of bounds, and that's going to be a turnover Spartans take possession, trying to extend their 2-point lead further. The Archers once again gonna swarm on this full court pressure as Washington will go up strong and cannot finish at the rim that time. Jamison now double. The Archers swarming defense keeps on going, but this time Parent finds a crack and splashes down a deuce.
Yeah, great ball movement there from the Spartans, able to get the 2-point lead, or 2 points, and now push their lead up to 4.
Marion Washington with the fading jump shot and splashes that one in. That was about as difficult as a 2-pointer as you can get right there, and Washington put it in. Spartans moving quickly once again. Parent now going to go to the line for 2 after being fouled on that one. Foul called on Marcus Oki, and that's going to be personal number 4 on Oki. That's a huge one there, as he has been a key piece all throughout this ball game for the Archers. First free throw for Parent, no good. Lead remains 2 here for the Spartans. Parent, a 63% free throw shooter on the season for Homestead. As Adrian Macon checks in for Oki, who picked up his 4th personal foul. And the second free throw falls for Parent. Lead up to 3 now. The Archers trying to answer here. As Macon right away gets it, sends it out to the corner. Phillips. Washington tries to force something up. Just bails it out over to Macon.
Right now, Washington is trying to do everything for this Archers offense, especially with Oki and Brogg on the bench right now.
And Morris, what an attack of the basket there, and what a finish. Falling backwards, gets it in off the glass, and the lead's down to 1 as Morris is up to 11 on the night. And now another turnover forced by the Archer defense. Down 1, they'll have the ball.
Momentum is starting to swing a little bit from the Spartan sideline to the Archer sideline. Archers forcing a turnover there right after getting the basket from Morris, who had the nice finish like we've seen all night long.
Now Washington on the attack. Jamison strips it away. Spartans on the run now. Jamison goes strong. Can't finish. Parent with the follow and the finish. Now the Archers going fast themselves. Can't get it to drop that time. And the Spartans now get the possession back, up 3. Kalpawiki on the attack, and he's fouled. And he will go to the line for 2 free throws, as that is going to be the 8th team foul on the Southside Archers. So the Spartans will be in the bonus for the rest of this one.
Kyron Kalpawiki, as he misses one there, he is a great free throw shooter, shooting 82% on the season so far.
Trying to make it a 2-possession ball game here with the second free throw, and he does. Now up to 10 points on the night for Kalpawiki. He's been averaging 19 points a game for the Sparty squad. As Phillips pulls the trigger on a 3-ball splash. That's a big one from Zamari Phillips. And then right away, the Spartans going to turn it back over. The Archers once again have possession, trailing by just 1. It seemed like throughout this 4th quarter, they've been able to get it down to 1, but just have not been able to take that lead back.
Haven't quite been able to get over the hump of getting that lead. Like you said, they keep cutting it down to 1 point, but as soon as they get there, the Spartans are able to score. Well, now the Archers have the ball and a chance to take the lead.
And now Phillips, another triple, and another one falls in. Archers take the lead.
Zamari Phillips with 2 made 3-pointers in a row, now giving his squad the 2-point lead.
And right there, so close to yet another Spartans turnover as you get another look at that fading 3 from Phillips. The Archers 1-8 on the season, now leading the number 5 Homestead Spartans right here with 4:30 left in the fourth quarter. As Jamison pulls the trigger on a 3-ball, can't get it to fall, but Graber with a great offensive effort on the rebound, and then Macon comes flying in for that swat.
I'll tell you what, this Archers squad right now, they are block hunting. It feels like every couple possessions, the Spartans are getting a shot blocked away. And speaking of blocks, Marcus Oki just came in the game for the Archers, and he's been swatting the ball away all night long.
Oki with 4 fouls on the night has to be careful and avoid that 5th personal that would put him out for the rest of the night. As the Spartans trying to answer here, as Phillips has knocked down 2 triples to give the Archers this lead. Kapowicki trying to create something. Gives it over to Parent. The Archers just not allowing an open look yet on this possession. Playing some great deep and force a turnover. Washington. He falls down and then everybody goes down and the Spartans end up with it. Kapowicki in transition, and that's going to be a charge. A huge one there, as that will give possession right back to the Archers, and that will give Kapowicki his first personal of the night.
Another look at that, another great shot, and another charge called on the floor. And man, this Archers team taking charges to flip the momentum. The Archers fan section just absolutely erupted after that call.
And how about Jamison? Yet another steal and another bucket in transition. He's been big all night long for the Spartans, and he's not giving up here right now. 3 minutes left as a timeout will be called by Coach J.J. Foster of the Archers. Now a tie ball game here. 3:08 remain. The Archers have been rolling, but right there, as you see, another look at the Jamison steal and transition bucket.
Will Jamison so great at that all night long and all season long, able to get the ball and drive to the hoop, tying this game back up at 39 with just over 3 minutes remaining. And partner, we're in for a good one.
We certainly are, as this one has been back and forth all throughout this ball game, as we are now going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Anthony Gery.
Thank you, Noah. And Coach Johnson in the huddle is really trying to address to his Spartans that they've got to get past this zone defense by Southside. I said it going to halftime. I asked them about it. They knew they needed to work on it. But right now, without their big man, it's got to be all about passing the ball in and out, and they haven't done a successful job so far. So now, in crunch time, it all comes down to whether or not they will be able to do it.
And thank you, Anthony. And that zone defense has certainly been a key storyline all throughout this ball game, as it has made it so difficult for the Spartans to get their offense flowing.
Yeah, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that's really been the Spartans' weakness all night long, struggling to find a way around it.
As Jamison will get across the timeline and attack inside. Finds Graber for an open look, and Graber finishes.
Alex Graber up to 4 points on the night. The Spartans were certainly hoping for a little bit more from him with Grant Leaper out, but hitting a big shot there to give his team the lead.
Now 2:30 left in this fourth quarter. The Archers attacking as Powell draws the foul there and will go to the line for 2.
And Will Will Jamison into a little bit of foul trouble now. 2:28 remaining, and he's up to 3 fouls.
That will be something to watch, as we also have seen Archers in foul trouble throughout this one, as Oki, of course, with 4 fouls, and Powell himself currently at the line has 3 fouls as well. Big free throw here, trying to make it a 1-point game. Can't do it. Rebound brought in by the Spartans. Summer Shine across the timeline, and we'll call a timeout. As that will leave the Spartans with 1 more timeout remaining. A 2-point lead here with 2:21 left in the 4th quarter. This is a huge one here, as the Spartans trying to hold on. The Spartans, one of 4 teams currently unbeaten in SAC play, and this would be a huge one to take as a loss if the Spartans were to fall against the Southside Archers here, a team that's currently 0-2 in conference play.
Yeah, the Spartans just picked up their first loss on the season overall last week, and you know they do not want to pick up their first conference loss here tonight, especially at home. It's been a tightly contested game all night long, and as we know, anything can happen when you get down to these final minutes. But a big possession here for the Spartans, as they have a chance to make this a 2-possession game.
Yeah, it's a big possession certainly for the Homestead Spartans, as to try and keep their overall conference championship hopes alive, they really need a victory here against this Southside Archers squad. But even if they were to fall in this one, they still would control their own destiny within the conference, because the Archers already the 2 losses. So if the Spartans were to run the table after this one, they could still come out on top of the SAC. As Jamison will take the inbound. Just over 2 minutes remaining now in the ball game. The Spartans going to be looking to milk some clock here and try and extend the lead to 2 possessions.
And it's important to note both teams are currently in the single bonus, meaning they would have 1-and-1s on any foul on the floor.
Now Kalpawiki over to Jamison. The Spartans really taking their time, and then it's stripped and a foul is called. And that will be the 9th team foul on the Southside Archers. So that will send Jameis to the line for a 1-and-1 here. Jamison, an 80% free throw shooter on the season, with a big one here, front end of a 1-and-1.
Take a look at free throws in this game, as he misses right there, but the Spartans actually, up until that point, had the higher free throw percentage in this game over the Archers.
And that's a big miss there, leaving 2 potentially on the line. As Washington attacks, and he's swatted away by Kalpawiki. Kalpawiki with a big block there, but the Archers still have a chance here. They retain possession.
And the crowd gets another look at it on the replay. They did not like that call at all. Tough call for the ref, though, to make in real time.
As that ball is swatted away by Graber. All night long, we've seen the Archers come up big with some blocks. Well, how about that? 2 blocks there for the Spartans defensively. As Kalpawiki tries to get one at the rim, it doesn't go. Tipped out of bounds off the Spartans. And here we go. 1:08 remains. Southside down 2. Need a bucket here.
And I understand Kalpawiki wanting to get that bucket, wanting to get it to a 2-possession game. But with the lead in just over a minute, you probably should have tried to run a little bit more clock, a little bit more time off the clock there, instead of putting up that shot that he missed.
And now Phillips on the attack. Out to Bragg. Now 55 seconds left. The Archers need some points here. Phillips in the corner. Jamison tips it away, and then it's stolen away by Shermershine, but he steps out of bounds, so it will stay with the Archers.
Great job by Sermersheim there, able to jump up and steal the ball one-handed, but he landed out of bounds, and the Archers now have possession again, just down 2.
So now Morris trying to set something up as he gives it over to Bray. Now Phillips driving inside, a mid-range pull-up. That one's short, but an offensive rebound from Morris. That one's huge. Out in the corner. Now down low to Washington. He goes up with it. No good. Rebound tipped around. Morris with another offensive rebound. He goes up. No good. But Oki with the follow, and he finishes it. Ties it up. Huge offensive rebounds lead to the tying score. 15 seconds left. Jamison across the timeline, and he's fouled. That's a big one there, as that will send Jamison to the line. 13 seconds left. Now in the double bonus, he's guaranteed 2 free throws.
And he just missed one last possession, or excuse me, a couple possessions ago, and you know he does not want to miss them here.
Jameson knocks it down. And now we're going to get a timeout, a full timeout from the Southside Archers, as we will take a short break, but be back with the final seconds here from Spartan Arena.
Touchdown, Homestead! Dribbles in, mid-range jumper up. He got it! Zach Kruger hit the shot.
Welcome back to Spartan Arena here, as this Homestead Spartans currently have a 1-point lead. Will Jamison with another free throw here, as Coach Foster of the Archers called a timeout in the middle of these free throws to try and set up his team offensively, expecting, or just after this huge free throw here, as they will need a bucket. Down 1, 13.3 seconds remain.
Holy moly, what a finish we have coming. It's been a great game all night long, and it's only fitting that it's going to come down to this. The final 13 seconds and a massive free throw coming up for Will Jamison to make this a 2-point lead.
And here it is. Jamison, an 80% free throw shooter on the year, misses it. Now Washington, the Archers, a chance to win here. Give it over to Morris. Now to Bragg. He puts up a 3, no good, and the rebound's brought in by Kalpawiki with 4.6 seconds left. He will now go to the line for 2 and a chance to make it a 3-point game if he could knock both in. The Archers just looked a little rushed there, out of control with just so few seconds remaining, but maybe went a little bit too fast.
Yeah, they had a little bit more time to work with, but even if Kalpawiki is able to knock both of these down, the Archers will still have a chance to tie this thing up and force overtime.
And Kalpawiki knocks down that free throw. So now a 2-point lead for the Homestead Spartans. 4.6 seconds left. And if you're Coach Foster in that huddle, not knowing whether or not Kalpawiki will knock down this free throw, what are you drawing up?
Right now, you've got to try to get the ball to either Phillips or Bragg. They're the ones that have been hitting the threes for this team so far tonight, especially if this shot does go down. If the shot is missed, you just got to find whoever the heck is open and try to get the ball to them.
Yeah, and if this shot is missed, it will be absolute complete chaos in the last 4.6 seconds, as it will need a miss, or as they will need a rebound. And now we are going to be sending it down to sideline reporter Anthony Gery.
Thank you, Noah. And down here on the court, you would not think that it's winter break for both of these schools. This has been one of the loudest atmospheres we've had all season long. You can tell why it's coming down the wire. The Southside fans are heavily involved, the Homestead fans as well. You can hear the uproar with every single call that's being made. It truly is SAC basketball coming down to the last second, and it's fun.
Thank you, Anthony, and it certainly has been an intense one here. All the fans have been loud in this back and forth battle, as Kapowicki trying to make it a 3-point game. Just under 5 left. He does. Now the Archers got to go quick. Washington, and he's fouled right away.
Smart foul there from the Spartans, making sure the Archers don't have a chance to put up a 3. And now we'll see if Washington's able to make this first free throw. And if so, we will probably see the intentional miss.
So 3 seconds left now. Washington at the line for 2. Just a 50% shooter on the season. Can't get the first one to fall. Oki tries to follow, can't get it to go, and that will bring us to the end of this ball game. The Spartans hold on and move to 10-1 on the season with a 44-41 victory.
What a game we just saw, coming down to the final shot. Both teams having a good chance to win this game, and it was a hard-fought, physical battle that was won in the turnover department and on the boards.
It was a huge one here for the Spartans as they were able to close this one out late with some big free throws from Kyron Kapowicki and Will Jamison. And some big defensive stands late in the final seconds of this one to be able to hold on and get this victory. As we are now going to be sending it down to our sideline reporter, Anthony Gery, who's alongside Will Jamison.
Thank you, Noah and Will. Big win tonight, a very close one. How were you guys able to get it done down the stretch?
We just didn't get up. We just didn't give up when we got down. We knew it was going to be a tough game. After the first few minutes, we seen that they brought a lot of energy. So at halftime, we made adjustments and we got it done.
Their press seemed to be a complete problem, almost the same as the Munster game, where their press was very much a problem. What adjustments do you guys think you need to make in the future against a press like that?
Just get to the ball to the right people. Don't dribble into like the right by the half court or by corners where they can trap, and just make smart plays.
You had a very nice game tonight, 17 points, very aggressive on defense, got a couple breakaway baskets. What can you say about your performance and being able to really come up big for the Spartans when they needed it?
We needed somebody to step up, and so I just took the lead and stepped up. And in the third quarter, when we were down, we needed somebody to be a leader and needed somebody to bring the energy, and I was the one to bring it.
And now you are 3 games into SAC, of course, your first year as a starter on the Homestead Spartans. What can you say about SAC play? Because you've had some great games to start in these first 3.
Yeah, every game is a battle in the conference. Like the Dwanger game and the Lures game. We've all had some good games in the conference. We know they're going to be tough, and they're only going to get tougher. So we just have to keep battling and keep fighting.
Congratulations, Will. Great game tonight. Noah, back to you.
And thank you, Anthony. And what a performance from Will Jamison overall, and what a performance late from the Homestead Spartans as they win this one 44-41 and improve to 10-1 on the season. We will now send it to a short break, but be back with the OPS postgame report.
Welcome to the OPS Postgame Show. I'm Anthony Gery, joined alongside Noah Lance. And Noah, what a game we just watched. Southside took the Spartans down to the final seconds. They led by 1 at the half, and they kept that energy all the way in the second half. It just goes to show you that anyone can beat anyone in this conference.
Yeah, this conference has so many teams in it. It's really a deep conference. And like you said, we saw here tonight that Southside, the team that was at the bottom of the conference, can compete with the team at the very top. It just shows you anyone can win.
anyone can win. And Southside is a team that's given Homestead problems in the past. Brushed on it earlier in the broadcast. Last year in the regular season, they took a Fletcher Lawyer-led Spartans down to the final moments, and then they did the exact same thing in sectionals last year. It almost seems like it's just the way that Southside plays. Their box-and-one defense has been a problem for Spartans every single year.
Yeah, they're just so much more aggressive than the Spartans, and that works to their advantage every single time. They get a lot of steals. They're able to convert off of those steals and get points from those steals, and like you said, it really just brings a problem to the Spartans. Not exactly sure why, but year in and year out, Southside is always competing.
It's never been a dull moment for the Spartans, but they hold on to win this game. Now we're going to take a look at our stats for the whole game that were pretty, again, 50-50, like we saw at the first half. At the end of the first half, it was pretty much 50-50, and they end pretty much 50-50. Southside actually shooting better from the field and out-rebounding the Spartans, but it just came down to the turnover margin, which was actually the exact same. Came down to the free throws for the Spartans, but they were able to knock down those important free throws, shooting 73%, and Southside unable to do the same.
Yeah, 5 more free throws made by the Spartans. That's what the difference was. Even though the Spartans made 1 less shot overall from the field, they hit the same overall from behind the arc. And that was the big difference there. The free throws, 5 more made free throws, was the difference in this one. Even though the Spartans really weren't able to even hit their free throws down the stretch, they missed a lot. Kyron Kafawiki and Will Jamison definitely would have liked to have some back. Southside just could not make theirs. They missed many free throws coming down to the wire, and that's what the difference was.
That really was the difference. Rebounding and free throws are what win you games, and when the rebound margin is that close, it comes down to the free throws, which that is what the Spartans were able to own in this game. Noah, who would you say your player of the game is? Very exciting game on both sides.
Well, I think I would say it was Will Jamison. He had 17 points in this game, and he was just clutch coming down to the wire, and he made some nice layups, and in transition, he was able to get points, knock down some free throws down, and that's why they won.
A Will Jamison playing very much a Will Jamison game. A lot of big stops on defense, a couple miscues, getting some unfortunate turnovers, but able to make up for them with those breakaways. Great game for Will and a great game for the Spartans.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was one of those tough games that you need to win. They've had a lot of tough games this year, but they've been able to pull through almost every single one, and that really just gives Coach Johnson that much more confidence in his team.
How about the atmosphere? Homestead has battled through adversity after adversity in all of these great atmospheres that they've played in so far this year. They've seemed to come out on top every single time. It's just so big for the Spartans.
Yeah, it really is. And we talked about it, losing Fletcher Lawyer, losing a player like Luke Goody 2 years ago. Teams that have been so good year in and year out, you think you may struggle, but they're right here, and we're talking about how good the Spartans team is once again.
They're doing amazing. Right now, they're top 10 in Sagarin, and on Tuesday, they will have Tucker Day back, a player that's looking to make a huge impact, but that's not their next game. Saturday, tomorrow, Wawasee at 7:30. The Spartans are back here on their home court, and Homestead Live will have that game. We're excited to see that game as well. Homestead heavy favorites, but anything can happen as we've seen in this arena. With that, we're going to close out the broadcast, the doubleheader tonight. Thank you to all of our viewers. Special thanks to our producer, Trevor Newhouse, switcher Joel McChesney, our camera operators, the guys in the booth, Noah Johanningsmeier, Braxton Hall, Noah Lance, and myself. We say thank you and have a splendid rest of your evening.